What's the one thing a prairie farming community couldn't exist without? The answer isn't what you might expect. It's not the grain itself, it's the way people found to move it. And here in cereal, that story is still standing. Hello and welcome to the video. If this is your first time here, my name is Mike. If you've been here before, my name is still Mike, but you would have known that already. This place took its name from something simple. A post office arrived in 1910, and because of the grain fields all around, someone just called it cereal. 2 years later, in 1912, the Canadian National Railway built a station here as part of a bigger plan to push rail lines deeper into the prairies. The station was meant to anchor something more. It was meant to anchor a community. By 1914, Cereal had incorporated as a village. That station building became the center of everything. Farmers brought their grain by wagon, then by truck, and the railway took it out. The grain elevators rose up along the tracks like sentries. They weren't just functional, they were landmarks. In photographs from the 1920s, you can see what Main Street looked like then. Solid buildings, storefronts, a place with momentum. There's even a photograph of the Haynes house that is still standing. You can walk where those pictures were taken and actually recognize the place. The rhythm of the town was the rhythm of the grain. Elevators filled and emptied with the seasons, and the railway connected cereal to the wider world, and for a long time, that was enough. But here's the thing about depending on one system. When that system changes, everything changes. The elevators are gone now, and the railway traffic has thinned. The population that once sustained the town has moved elsewhere, following work and opportunity. In 2021, Cereal had to make a practical choice. It dissolved from village status and became a hamlet. What looks like loss, though, sometimes holds something else. The railway station didn't disappear. It became the Prairie Pioneer Museum, filled with tools and objects of the people who built this place. A caboose sits on those grounds. The old jail from Chinook is there. There's a miniature grain elevator in a small park where the original elevators and station once stood. A remembrance, not a replacement. Today, Cereal is smaller and quieter. There's a ball diamond on the edge of town and rodeo grounds where people gather. The place doesn't pretend to be something it isn't. What it is, instead, is a place where you can still see the bones of how the prairies were settled, where the railway and the grain and the people who believed they could build something met. The station that built this town is now a museum about how it was built. It's an honest ending, rooted in the real story of what happens to prairie communities. Cereal survived the change, and in the museum, in the grounds, in the buildings that remain, the memory of what was stays intact. So if you enjoyed this little journey, give that like button a tap. It's free and oddly satisfying. If you haven't subscribed yet, just know I share a new small town story every week, weather permitting, of course. Feel free to pass this along to your aunt, your neighbor, or that one friend who still thinks Alberta ends at Calgary. They need this more than they know. If you'd like to chip in and help keep the drone batteries charged and the gas tank filled, there's a Ko-fi link in the description. And you can find Gradient Imaging on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, because apparently I'm not busy enough. But until next week, drive safe, wave at strangers, and take the scenic route.